G'day, it's Jay Samuel here, making my first YouTube video. Um, Today I'm going to be talking about plants, really, using both quotes from Genesis and also just modern day science. I'll be citing or quoting more or less two articles from the Institute of Creation Research.com, .org, not .com, uh, otherwise known as ICR.org, and they publish articles probably like twice a week, three maybe four times a week, up to around there. And these are really good articles, but I just feel like they're not getting out there. And so I'm in no way trying to claim credit for these articles. I'm just becoming another form of communication to get these articles out there because this is so much scientific information and people just are not looking at it, they're just bypassing it. So let me get started and I'll get straight into it with a quote. Genesis 2:9 records one of the Lord's original intentions for creating trees, saying, quote, "Out of the ground the Lord God made every tree grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food." The tree of life was also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. A new study has quantified just how pleasant to the sight trees can be, inadvertently confirming the truthfulness of this ancient biblical passage. Professor William Sullivan and lecturer Bin Jiang of University of Illinois Department of Landscape Architecture measured stress levels in participants who watched 6-minute-long 3D panoramic videos of neighborhoods. The amounts of tree canopy coverage in various neighborhoods range from 2 to 62%. Researchers used three tactics to gauge stress: measuring salivary cortisol levels, detecting skin conduits, and conducting self-reports. Adrenal glands secrete cortisol hormone in response to stress, and sweaty skin, another response to stress, conducts electricity more efficiently than dry skin. Their analysis revealed that those participants exposed to the 62% tree coverage experienced a 60% reduction in stress. Their results also show that the 41% of participants who showed no change in stress levels when only a quarter or less of the neighborhood canopies had trees. However, according to the University of Illinois News, quote, when the percentage of tree canopy increased to 36%, more than 90% of viewers reported feeling calm, relaxed while watching the videos. These findings support the idea that urban land planners and landscapers, architects who incorporate greenscapes into their plans could also help health. How could the calming sense of pleasure that comes from looking at trees have evolved? Did it somehow help mankind outcompete some ancient and unfeeling animals from which we supposedly emerged? Rather, God built trees to meet humanity's God-given ability to appreciate them, and thus their maker. What better disposition from which to appreciate the Lord than one of a simple pleasure? Viewed from the biblical perspective, the positive effect of merely looking at a tree canopies confirms the words of Genesis, that God created certain trees, not just trees for the knowledge of good and evil, but some to also be pleasant to the eyes and good for food, as is recorded in Genesis 2:9. This was an article from the Institute of Creation Research.org, and it clearly highlights how Genesis, even in its ancient records, was scientifically accurate from a modern day perspective, and it really should be looked at from a more positive view than a negative mythological view that we tend to give Genesis and the rest of the Bible, really. But it shouldn't surprise you that God doesn't stop there. Another article from the Institute of Creation Research says, quote, "Sunlight can change in a heartbeat. 1 second a leaf could be under intense sun and may receive more light than it needs to build sugar molecules through a process called photosynthesis. But a few seconds later a cloud may wander overhead and block the sun, starving the plant of its photosynthetic machinery. A team of plant biologists recently discovered new mechanisms that help plants cope with these fast-changing light conditions. Biology textbooks explain how the basic engine of photosynthesis functions. Amazing enzymes harvest the channel incoming sunlight to power molecule pumps inside plant leaves. These pumps don't move water or air, but instead protons and other ions, one at a time. The new research investigation an additional layer of complexity that is similar to the way a car's accelerator pedal works. Managing a flow of ions makes photosynthesis operate efficiently. Since all life, including mankind, ultimately depends on sugar-based products that plants generate, we should be thankful and even a little curious about how plants keep photosynthesis functioning smoothly even under sporadic light conditions. An international group of researchers discovered new and important task for a little understood enzyme named KEA3. As an antiporter, it turns on just at the right moments to swap hydrogen ions for potassium ions across a membrane. This happens as soon as those green leaves need to switch from moderate production under high intensity light to extra production under low intensity light, say when a cloud crosses over. The study authors publishing in Nature Communications wrote, "These data suggest that KEA3 plays a key role in accelerating the decay of NPQ during transitions from excess limiting light conditions." NPQ stands for non-photochemical energy quenching, a mechanism plants use to protect themselves against cellular damage from intense sunlight. The action of KEA3 turns off NPQ in seconds. Without KEA3, this action would take some minutes, and by then the next cloud or shadow casting object may have moved. This way, the plant keeps churning out sugar and excellent efficiency in near real-time response to various light conditions. Where do the authors attribute the newfound ability in the plant's sunlight instead of rightly crediting the plant's internal mechanisms, including KEA3? They wrote, "Our discovery that plants have an inbuilt mechanism to accelerate these kinetics makes a KEA3 a new target for efforts to improve crop productivity." The key phrase is built in. Anyone who has tried to build a solar panel should know that nature could not assemble the right parts needed to build a machine that captures and converts sunlight to a different, usable form of energy. Just as someone outside of nature builds such a device, so must have someone built it into plants. In other words, only God could have designed and the complex and dynamic built-in machinery used in photosynthesis. And this new research points to God the Creator as deserving credit for inventing the rapid response sunlight adjustment mechanism that ensures efficiency in photosynthesis. End quote. This is yet just another article from ICR.org that clearly outlines how God has used just things that we today are only beginning to understand through modern day science. I mean, these things have been around for thousands and thousands of years, these plants, and they've been doing it for thousands and thousands of years, and they've been passing their genes down for all this time, and they're more complex than cars. And they've been doing it for so long, and then when we invent the car, we go, "Oh my God, look how great this thing is." So I don't think we give nearly enough credit to plants, and also nearly enough credit to God for making the plants, because that is some really complicated stuff. And if you're like me, you hardly understood any of that. But really, what it is that these plants, they have, when a cloud passes over, they pump into another action, which is kind of like an accelerator, to keep up the amount of glucose that they make. And so they keep the same amount coming out in a nice lovely stream. Kind of like if you're driving a car and you're starting to run low on fuel, so you put the accelerator down a little bit more, and so you go the same speed that you have been all the time. So a little bit like that. So yeah, thanks for watching, and God bless you, and Jesus be with you.